How's it going, Star Seekers? My name's Luke and welcome back to the channel where I'm bringing you another asset flip warning video. Now it's been a while since I produced one of these. Meanwhile, our friends over at Pix Arts have been very busy and have been hard at work producing even more asset flips. These include things like Fly the Bird, which has been released on other platforms by other publishers, like this one called Wild Flying Eagle Bird Simulator on the Android App Store, and the game called Ace Strike, which Pixarts release, is undoubtedly a version of one of these helicopter gunship games. Now unfortunately I haven't been able to produce a video on these games, and this is due to their assets not being on the official Unity store, and likely being obtained from Unity Freaks, which is a site that my internet provider blocks, and who distribute paid Unity assets for free. Today though, I'm bringing you a video on Pixarts' latest venture called Archery Blast. It's a simple shooting gallery style game where you have to hit targets using a bow and arrow, and luckily this game was on the Unity Assets store and went by the same name. Now if you're not familiar with what an asset flip is, it basically involves buying a set of game components or assets from something like the Unity store and then packaging them up to produce a game without actually changing any element of them. Publishers like Pixarts do this all the time to create their games, and then claim to be developers and sell these so-called games to unsuspecting buyers. Now the asset pack for Archery Blast contains everything needed to create the game, including all sounds, scripts, textures and animations, as well as 60 pre-made levels. Taking a look at the rating of the pack, I noticed that it only has a 1-star rating, and despite all three of the reviews saying that it was a pretty terrible asset, this hasn't stopped Pixarts from creating a Switch version of the game. Now I went ahead and bought the game so you guys don't have to waste your money on it, so let's take a look at what, if anything, Pixarts have actually done with the assets, and whether the game actually works. So starting off from the main menu, we get no audio whatsoever, and this menu along with every other menu in the game is pretty buggy, with your selection disappearing if you press left or right too many times. Getting into the game itself, we can see we have 60 levels to choose from, all of which were included in the asset pack, and these were all unlocked from the get-go so we can choose to play any of them. Now the game itself isn't terrible, it's incredibly simple and offers very little challenge, but had it not been an asset flip and instead a game which an indie developer had actually created from scratch, I'd have been inclined to give it at least a 1-star rating. Each of the game's levels see you firing your bow at different targets, some of which are stationary and others which are moving, and you simply have to draw your bow with the R trigger, aim with the left analog stick, and then release the R trigger to fire. To make things a little bit more challenging though, your character bobs up and down as you're aiming, you only get a limited supply of arrows with which to hit targets, and if you run out of arrows you then have to start the level over. Now I played through about 30 of the levels, and things quickly get stale with the game as you see the same environments over and over, and while the targets do move around, sometimes utilising the environment to block your shots, you frequently encounter targets with similar scenarios. Now I mentioned that there was no sound at all at the main menu, but when we get into the game we do actually get some music. It basically consists of a single ominous sounding music track which in no way suits the gameplay, and in addition to this, every time you complete a level you also get a bit of a fanfare. One thing that's irritating as shit though is the fact that upon starting the next level the ominous music starts all over again, so you're constantly just listening to about 30 seconds of the same track. And the only other sound that you get is the sound effect of the bow twanging as you fire it, but that's about it for audio. Now on the visual side of things, every single level is set on this colourful island with an oversaturated environment. While the texture quality of the rather cartoonish visuals is alright, you basically just move around this one island firing on targets from different camera angles, meaning there's not actually any variety to levels. So after completing a stage in Archery Blast, you're then rewarded with a score, though like most games that Pixarts have produced, these scores are never recorded and there's no leaderboards for the game, meaning that they really account to jack shit. The 60 levels that are included in Pixarts' release are the same 60 levels which come with the asset pack, meaning that they haven't added any of their own to the game. And while the asset pack mentions that there are 3 upgradable bows and we get to see them on the YouTube trailer, Pixarts couldn't even be bothered to implement these into the game, so there's not actually anything to unlock or work towards. In all, it's just as I expected, a fully functioning asset flip which has not had input from the developer, and it's just another cash grab that you should steer well clear of. Now I have no doubt that our friends will drop another bag of dicks onto the eShop in the upcoming weeks, and Nintendo will do nothing at all to stop them, but hopefully this video has warned you off buying this one and anything else that these jokers produce. Archery Blast is available on the UK Switch eShop for £3.99 or from the US eShop for $3.99. Alternatively, the game's also available on Steam, but here it was released by Rewind App, another shit stain on the face of indie gaming, who are also notorious for the asset flips that they constantly release. Anyway, I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, be sure to hit that like button and share it on social media to warn others of this and Pix Arts. Comment down below with your thoughts and opinions on the game and this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as I upload new Switch reviews and content every few days. For now though, I just want to thank you all once again for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.